Welcome to the Explainer. All right, let's get right to it. In the auto industry, you hear it everywhere. AI is the future. AI is a game changer. But here's the thing. If that's true, why are so few businesses actually using it to win? Today, we're going to dig into this massive gap between believing in AI and, actually making it indispensable.
Okay, so this chart right here, this really tells the whole story. On one hand, you've got a staggering 95% of car dealers saying, yep, AI is absolutely critical for us. I mean, almost everybody agrees. But then, look at this other number. Only 30% have actually implemented it. 30. That's not just a gap, folks. That is a canyon.
So that huge gap, that chasm, it just begs the question, right? If pretty much everyone agrees that this is the way forward, what on earth is holding a whopping 70% of businesses back?
Well, you might think it's all about complicated tech or, not having the budget for some fancy new system, but the answer is actually a lot simpler and, well, a lot more human than that.
It really comes down to three big things: old-fashioned fear, a serious lack of trust, and just no clear rules of the road. I mean, think about it. If you're a business owner, you're asking yourself some really valid questions, like, what happens if this AI messes up with a customer? Or, how do I even begin to control what my team does with something like ChatGPT? And that kind of uncertainty, it just leads to total paralysis.
And David Rozek just hits the nail on the head with this. The crazy thing is, the technology isn't new. It's already here. It's been in our systems for years. So the real problem, it isn't about access. It's about adoption. It's about training. And more than anything else, it's about trust.
Okay, so while that huge 70% is stuck hesitating, the other 30%, well, they're not waiting around. They're sprinting ahead. And let me tell you, the cost of sitting on the sidelines in this race is getting higher every single day.
So just how big is their advantage? We're talking a 30 to 40% increase in lead conversion rates for the dealers who've jumped in. I mean, stop and think about that. That's not just a little bump. That is a total game changer for your bottom line. So you're probably wondering, how are they getting those results? Well, it's actually pretty simple. They're using AI to automate all that tedious but absolutely critical work. Stuff like instantly responding to every single lead 24/7, or sending out personalized follow-ups that, get this, actually sound like a real person wrote them. And the result? It's incredible. We're seeing customer engagement rates literally triple.
And this right here, this chart tackles the biggest fear of them all, right? The robots are coming for our jobs thing. But look at the reality. A huge 72% of dealers see AI as something that enhances their team, not replaces them. It's about taking the busy work off the plate of your best salespeople so they can do what humans are amazing at, actually connecting with people and building real relationships.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. Because even for that top 30%, the ones who are ahead of the curve, just using AI isn't the finish line. Nope. Many of them are walking right into a huge strategic trap, and they don't even see it coming.
Is something called the AI marketing mirage. And here's what that means. It's this dangerous illusion that just because you've got a cool AI chatbot on your website, you're totally prepared for the future. But in reality, you might just be getting really, really good at a game that's about to be completely rewritten.
And this slide shows you exactly how the game is changing. Look, the old goal was all about getting clicks. You wanted to rank high on a Google search page, right? But the new goal, it's about getting cited. It's no longer just about driving traffic to your website. It's about becoming the answer that the AI serves up directly to the customer. Think about that for a second. It's a completely different mindset. So that leads us to the billion-dollar question, doesn't it? How do you adapt? How do you build a brand that an AI doesn't just stumble upon, but one it actively chooses and trusts as an authority? All right, the answer lies in this new two-part framework. It's a 1-2 punch. First, you build a solid foundation with something called generative SEO. Then you amplify that with a creative layer we call brand theater. Now, I know those might sound like buzzwords, so let's break down what they actually mean. First up, GSEO, or generative SEO. And I want you to forget everything you think you know about old school SEO. All that stuff about trying to trick Google's algorithm. This is totally different. This is about structuring all your data, your inventory, your services, your reviews, so cleanly and clearly that an AI doesn't just read it, it genuinely understands it. It's like planting perfect data seeds. But just having those clean data seeds isn't enough, right? You need to make them grow into something people care about. And that's where brand theater comes in.
This is the art of giving your data a voice, a personality. It's about making sure the tone of your chatbot matches the tone of your Instagram videos, which matches the tone of your emails. It's that consistent story that brings your data to life.
Now, when you combine these two things, that rock-solid GSEO foundation and that compelling brand theater, you create something incredibly powerful. You build what's called a knowledge graph. Just think of it like an AI's mental map of your business. It's this rich, interconnected web of information that proves to the AI that you are an absolute, indispensable authority on your topic.
So, what's the real payoff here? What's the end game? It's about moving beyond just having a temporary edge. This is about cementing a permanent, strategic position for your brand in this entirely new AI-driven world.
And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important distinction. See, being AI-powered, that's just temporary. It's a buzzword. It describes a tool you happen to be using today. But being AI indispensable, well, that's a strategic state of being. It means your brand's authority is so baked in, so fundamental, that it becomes hard-coded right into the fabric of the AI's knowledge.
So we'll leave you with this one, final thought to chew on. As this new AI world really takes shape, you have to look at your own strategy and ask yourself a very simple question. Are you building a business that's designed to be replaced by the next software update, or are you building a brand that's designed to be recalled as the one true answer?